Mike Mazzei says his tax cut is revenue neutral. The question Oklahoma voters deserve to hear is simple. Whose taxes go up to make his numbers work? After my last article on the governor's race, some readers warned that Gentner Drummond might be a closet Democrat who would raise taxes. Taxes are a fair issue to raise with any candidate. If Drummond proposes expensive new programs, voters should ask how he intends to pay for them. But Oklahoma voters should ask Mike Mazzei exactly the same question. State Question 640 amended Article 5, Section 33 of the Oklahoma Constitution. A revenue bill can bypass a statewide vote only with a 3/4 vote of both the Oklahoma House and Senate, followed by action by the governor. But there is another part of the story. In 2017, the Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled that removing an existing tax exemption was not a revenue bill under State Question 640. That distinction matters in this governor's race because eliminating deductions, exemptions, and credits is at the heart of Mike Mazzei's tax plan. Mazzei says that in his first year as governor, he would ask the legislature to reduce Oklahoma's individual income tax rate from 4.5% to 3%. Revenue neutral sounds reassuring. But if total revenue stays about the same, the money has to come from somewhere. It can come from spending cuts. It can come from additional economic growth. Or it can come from taxpayers losing deductions, credits, exemptions, rebates, or reduced tax rates they receive today. So the real question is not whether taxes move. The question is whose taxes go up. Mazzei says roughly $2 billion in deductions, exemptions, credits, and tax giveaways can help offset the income tax cut. But Mazzei has also said several major items would remain, including quality jobs incentives, aerospace incentives, the parental choice tax credit, and important agricultural and manufacturing exemptions. The parental choice tax credit alone has a statutory cap of $275 million for the 2026 to 2027 school year. For months, I have been researching Oklahoma's shadow budget, tax credits, rebates, reduced rates, exemptions, incentives, and protected set-asides. The working estimate reached about $1.5 billion. Now apply Mazzei's own promises. Take out $275 million for the private school tax credit, roughly $53 million for quality jobs, and $200 million for the taxpayer endowment trust fund set-aside. After removing those items, our identified shadow budget drops to roughly $1 billion. Mazzei claims about $2 billion is available. If a tax preference disappears, somebody pays more. Companies losing credits pay more. Oil and gas producers losing preferences pay more. Businesses losing exemptions pay more. Families losing deductions or credits pay more. It would be misleading to call the whole proposal a $2 billion tax increase, because Mazzei is also proposing a substantial income tax reduction. But it is also misleading to call it a tax cut without showing who loses the offsets. Here is a simple example. If you lose a $5,000 credit, and the lower rate saves you $2,000, your tax bill just increased by $3,000. Mazzei's income tax proposal is not his only major tax cut promise. He also proposes eliminating property taxes on homesteads for seniors 65 and older and veterans. There is no statewide property tax in Oklahoma. Property taxes are local revenue that support schools, counties, fire districts, and other local services. Oklahoma property taxes produced about $3.9 billion in 2024. Mazzei's own campaign says seniors represent about 10% of property tax collections. Applied statewide, that puts roughly $390 million a year in local revenue at stake. If spending cuts cannot cover that property tax loss, does the burden move to younger homeowners, businesses, sales taxes, or other local taxpayers? Americans for Tax Reform reported that Mazzei has discussed expanding the sales tax base to generate additional revenue, offset by income tax reductions. That raises another question. What becomes taxable that is not taxable today? Your income tax may go down, but what else starts getting taxed? The same dollar cannot pay for every promise. Mazzei proposes to cut the income tax, cut property taxes, protect some major tax preferences, fully fund schools and local services, and maybe expand sales tax collections. It makes little sense to fear a hypothetical Drummond tax increase while ignoring a tax redistribution already contained in Mazzei's own proposal. Mazzei should show Oklahoma voters the $2 billion list. Tell voters which credits disappear, which exemptions stay, which taxpayers pay more, how property tax money is replaced, and what sales tax base expands. Bottom line, there is no such thing as a revenue-neutral tax cut where everybody pays less. Somebody has to make the numbers work. Sources include the Mazzei campaign plan, Bartlesville Radio, Journal Record and Oklahoma Voice Reporting, Americans for Tax Reform, COSU, Oklahoma Constitution Article 5 Section 33, the Oklahoma Supreme Court's 2017 exemption case, Oklahoma Policy Institute, Oklahoma Tax Commission and Langdon Shadow Budget Research.